Hello. For me, it's good morning, and I'm happy today. And I'm thinking about why. Why am I happy? And how did I get happy? And I'm gonna move this closer because I don't want to feel like I have to yell, but I have nowhere to set it. So happiness. When I was just thinking to myself, like, hey, what is it that you want to share today? And I thought, let's share this. Your happiness meter. Like, are you happy? Are you happy? When I talk to people, the one thing that they say is, like, I would like to be happy. And how do you get happy? And what is happy? And it's obviously, for me, like, it's a state of being. I can be happy or I can be unhappy. I can be in that balance, right? We're going to think of it as a balance. I'm either happy or my happiness is not there. Like, you got to keep it weighed out, right? But you can also think of it as a meter where I've got like 10, 20, 30, 40, 100% full of happiness, you know? And if we look at happiness that way, then it doesn't require the same give and take to stay in balance of happiness. But in order to increase that percentages in our happiness meter, sometimes we have to start with the balance. And so we balance out what is actually allowing us to be happy, what is taking away from our happiness, what can we give up to increase our happiness, what can we take on to increase our happiness is a meter thing. You can't take on more and increase your happiness in a balanced way with the way a lot of our mental programming and neuro-linguistic connections that many of us grow up with create that source of balance, but also then restrict our meters because of that balance, if that makes any sense, I hope. And so what we can do is we can say, well, in the balancing side, what can I let go of to increase my happiness, assuming our happiness is below? So what can I let go of to increase my happiness? And so we bring ourselves a little more in balance. What needs to change? So maybe we've got some lighter things over here and we need to make them heavier, or maybe we've got some heavy things over here and we need to make them lighter so that our balance for our happiness can, come in to fold. So once we're balanced, though, we find that our meter is set. When our happiness level is balanced, our meter is set. And what I did at one point in time was took my happiness meter and I said, okay, this is my new baseline happiness. So I had my balance was set. I wasn't changing anything in the moment. I wasn't increasing or decreasing anything. I just was who I was. I was where I was. It was that moment in time. Nothing was changing. All these responsibilities weighed on me. All of these requirements, all of these past and future things were all there. And in that moment, I said, okay, this is my new zero balance of happiness. I was by myself, so I wasn't angry with anything or anyone in that moment. I kind of had zenned out about it, and I'm just like, I'm here. This is my zero bottom line happiness. If I feel less happy than right here in this moment right now, I will not accept that, and I will make a change. And I've done that, and my happiness meter has increased because that maybe used to be like a 50% happiness meter. I made that my new zero baseline meter. And so now my baseline zero, now I've got to increase from there. And if that makes sense, it's like it's an evolutionary scale. Like, we are moving up the scale in terms of happiness. And so when we are looking at becoming happy and whole and, oh, what does that mean for us? it's hard. It's hard to grasp sometimes because happy is a subjective emotional cover language word, like happy is what is it? Happy's the name of the pet dog I had it was a toy. My dad called it Happy because he felt happy when he petted it, so it was happy. But happiness, whatever you want to define it as, with being, doing, interacting, zenning, whatever it is that makes you happy, being with family, being with friends, working, jogging, whatever makes you happy. And I wholly believe that we need many things. Happiness is not a one size fits all, nor is it a one plate meal. Happiness is like a smorgasbord. You go out and you do this and it's a little happy, and you go out and you get this and it's a little happy, and you get out and that tastes a little happy, and that feels a little happy, and that's a little and you kind of can pick and choose. And not every wild flower is going to be a happy flower. You gotta pick and choose sometimes. But the happiness meter that you present to yourself as your baseline, when we begin to learn to increase that by picking and choosing that which increases our happiness, we are choosing as healthier boundaries, possibly, to increase our happiness meter. We are letting go of those things that we choose not to accept, resonate with, or desire to be around. And we understand that our choices, whatever they are our consequences. There may be some associated with that. I can choose to be happy drinking a pint every day, as long as it doesn't have any ill effect around me, the persons around me, the people around me, myself included. If there's no ill effect, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It is to the point where it becomes detrimental. And a lot of us have been programmed to believe that many things are detrimental, because, and I can use some highlight examples: smoking, drinking, drugs, excessive lack of sleep, other things that we are considering not healthy, or detrimental, rather, let me say it that way, detrimental to individuals. And so we say, oh, nobody should do those things. And so that can affect our happiness meter. And again, it's a lot of the programming and the belief systems that we hold, and the neurolinguistics, the way it intertwines within the brain chemistry of the human being. Okay. It's societal roles and all these things. There's so much complexity, and that's why there's no one size fits all. And so our happiness comes from, I saw a video of a woman, her whole happiness in her life and her world was to serve and please her husband, and God bless her, she was the happiest woman I'd ever seen. Absolutely, amen in Jesus. She was happy, and I couldn't have been happier for her. And I also know that that is not what makes me happy. That's not my role. That's not what I'm here to do. My service belongs elsewhere. And when I'm in full service, I am absolutely 100% happy. 100% happy. And when I take my vows to pledge myself to that happiness, to that which makes me happy, then I have to understand that I might have to give up some other things in order to be happy. If I pledge my allegiance, my love, my God to my life and my happiness, then I am going to be for my God, my life, and my happiness. I'm not going to be for other things. You know what I'm saying? And so these are what I strive to attune myself with and attune myself to and with, to make my happiness increase. You find what is good for you. You find what increases your happiness, and you allow yourself to increase in that way. Those consequences that I have suffered in the past, and some that I may suffer in the future, those are what are the experiences of life. I understand emotions around those experiences wholeheartedly can affect our day-to-day being, our day-to-day emotions, which walls we're willing to run up against, and what we are willing to allow ourselves to experience, feel, transform, transgress, transmute. Let's get that transitioning, transverse, and because there's three in the trine, and we've always had this kind of bi-directional, bi-guidance, masculine, feminine, and we weren't allowing that trinity, the triune, the transient connections that are meant to be. And so when we're three together, and it isn't, the polyamor that is the clamor of the day, but that three in union together within ourselves, within our hearts, my direction is for God, love, life, and that is my happiness, and when I can express myself in those ways, then I am able to really feel, and allow those feelings to flow through me, and have the emotions, and have the experiences. And when I reserve myself, when I am not in full service, and I am reserving myself, when I have to put on my role because I am taking on a responsibility, then I am putting on my role, I am taking on my responsibility, and in that sense, I have to choose then to be happy sometimes. Sometimes I'm not in my full happiness. Sometimes I have to choose to be happy. I choose to be happy going to do the work that I do every day. It does not mean that I am happy every day going to work. It does not mean that I am happy about all of the things that happen around, in, at work, and everything about it. But what it means is that I choose to be happy about the various aspects around the fact that I have this particular role at work, that I have this particular job, that I have this particular source of income, that I have this particular freedoms, that I have this particular schedule, that I have this particular, whatever it is that allows you individually to choose for yourself that this is making me happy. Even if it's not ideal in the moment, I'm choosing to be happy about it for these reasons. And the sacrifice, the consequence of choosing to continue to do something that's truly not in alignment with your heart space is that you have to make concessions a little bit. You have to bring that balance, and your happiness meter may not always peak, but and so we kind of bring it back full circle about life. Like, there is a component here about balance and a meter and the reality of what you choose to fill everything with. So there is what you love, there is what you honor, there is how you live your life. And it exposes you when you expose yourself. And when you reserve yourself, you are reserved from a lot of things. It doesn't mean that your mind isn't clamoring. It does not mean that your body isn't wanting to move, or but we have to make choices to what is truly best sometimes in the moment, and choose to be happy for ourselves around that. Happiness is, again, a mental state of being, and when we choose to love and live our lives the way that we design them, with all constraints and considerations present, micro changes, because we know that sometimes jumping off a cliff is scary. Sometimes cutting off a friendship is scary. Sometimes moving is scary. Sometimes quitting a job is scary. Sometimes saying no is scary. Sometimes getting up out of bed is scary. And our heart hurts because all we want is to be happy. And we want the sun to shine in our life and hold our hearts. And some days are gray and you just can't do it. And we feel that. And we want to hold you and pick you up and carry you to wherever you want to be, to clear that mental block, to clear that fog, to clear that space, so that you can see how beautiful you are. And how happy, how absolutely happy you can be. We want to love you. We want to take away all the blockages. We want to be able to express within our hearts the deep, deep, passionate love that we have for each and every individual that we meet. Because, God bless it, people are just amazing. They are just amazing. And when you take away all of the little things, the little micro judgmental expressions and all the other things that put on the guard, you know, and you just express yourself and open yourself up. Like, for me, that's when I am in service there. I can feel that 100%. That is my happiness. And so it's hard for me sometimes because, you know, we all carry blocks and walls and bricks and boundaries. And I've gotten to the point where I understand sometimes it takes 4, 5, 6 years to get to know somebody, even if it's yourself. Sometimes it just takes that long. So you've got to keep going. You have got to keep going. Because bring out the rag, you know, just keep going. In all of it. And even with these tears that I cry, because I understand, but that is the emotion that flows through me, and those are the tears, the cleansing water. And I know at the end of the day, the message that I have is love, happiness, joy. The message that I want to bring to the table is peace, unity. And my clairvoyant, claircognizant, you know, they're all popping in there too. Oh, you want to bring all these things to the table for myself, yeah, but no, I don't want that for everybody if that's not what they want, you know. That's another story. But anyway, we love you. We love you. We love you. We wish you all peace, love, happiness. God bless. Many blessings. Many blessings. Oh,